ABC Jack here. Welcome back to Vinyl Martini. I am going to do a recent finds for the month of October. I know October isn't over yet, but I have been cutting back on my vinyl buying. I don't think I've done a recent finds record in at least 2 months, and I think before that was the stuff I found in Buffalo. So I've got a pile of records here, and I'm happy to show them to you. First off, went to an antique mall in Chemainus. All this stuff is from Up Island. When I mean Up Island is within an hour and a half drive north of Victoria. So I went to a couple of places, and the first place I went to was the Chemainus Antique Mall. And I found a copy of Steve Earle's third album, Copperhead Road. Never see this out in the wild. And this is a pretty nice copy. A little bit of damage there, but the spine is pretty good. The record's pretty good. I had to pony up for this, but I love Steve Earle, so I grab all of his earlier stuff whenever I see it out in the wild, which you don't see very often anymore. So Copperhead Road, Steve Earle from 1988. When I moved from Toronto to the West Coast, I took my car out and ahead of my wife and my kids, and I had a cassette player, a cassette tape of that record, and kept me company on the long drive out. Next up, kind of a bit of a mistake really at buying this record, but it's not bad. It's a copy of Mott the Hoople. I thought it was a different record that I was looking for or trying to upgrade, but this is Rock and Roll Queen. It is from 1974. This is an American copy. I already have a copy of this, so I made a rookie mistake. I didn't check my phone. But that's all right because it's going to make a great gift. And this was the copy that I have. In Canada, it was released on Island Records. So I've got a nice copy of this actually. But like I said, it's going to make a nice gift for my son or somebody that I know. And it's a really, I love all this early Mott the Hoople stuff. Walking with the Mountains, the last song on there. Rock and Roll Queen is the first song. Just that stuff on Island or Atlantic in the United States, it was just great. And that was before they almost called it quits. And then David Bowie offered them a couple of songs, and they moved to CBS and had a much better career after that. So Mott the Hoople, 1974, Rock and Roll Queen. That's a good one. Next up, we went to Nanaimo and went to Fascinating Rhythm. And Nanaimo was the home of Rachel's Ghost and the Green Vinyl Guy who did Vinyl Tag last year. But I found a copy of the Golden Palominos, Visions of Excess. Now, I don't know anything about the Golden Palominos, but I know that I think JT has talked them up a little bit. JT's Record Room. And amazing. Michael Stipe from REM sings on about, I think, 5 of the songs, and interesting enough, John Lydon from Public Image does a stint on vocals as well. So this is I read about this, and the genre is no wave. I mean, I don't know what no wave is, but because I'm not a genre person, but I'm going to give it a shot. And this is from 1985, Golden Palominos, Visions of Excess. So that's a new one on me. This is my first Horselips record. They're a band from Ireland, kind of a prog folky band. I think that Pete from the Music from the West Coast has talked up this band. He just picked up a couple of Horselips albums. So I've seen them around, but this one was $1.99, so I couldn't resist picking this one up. This was one of the cheapies I got. And the guy ended up giving it to me for nothing. So it's produced by Steve Katz of Steely Dan Fan, which is kind of interesting. So looking forward to giving this a listen. I haven't washed or cleaned any of these records yet, haven't listened to them yet, so I can't really report on what the records are like. Next up, I'm a big Charlie Daniels fan, and this is Charlie Daniels Band, Midnight Wind from 1977. I pick up Charlie Daniels records from the 70s at least. I do have a few from the 80s. They kind of weakened a little bit in the 80s, but the 70s output is really good. He's got a great band in here. I love Charlie Daniels. Midnight, any big hits on here? I don't recognize any of them, but it doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to listening to this too. And this was in really nice shape, $2.99. He threw it in my pile for nothing, so thank you for that. I am trying to build up my Byrds collection. Found a couple of Byrds records there. This is self-titled, I guess, but it's got Gene Clark, Chris Hillman, David Crosby, Roger McGuinn, Michael Clark on it. From it's on Asylum Records, 1973. Finally, they got back to recording with David Crosby. It's a gatefold. It's in pretty good shape, and I think it cost, it was $15, but anything to build up my Byrds collection, so I'm looking forward to that one. Speaking of the Byrds, I got a copy of the original singles, 1965 to 1967. It was $8. Sort of a best of, I guess. But there's a really, really great write-up on the back here that goes through all the singles, all the A-sides and the B-sides, and sorry, I'll show the front. And all the tracks are mono, so that's interesting. It's got all the hits that you know, Turn, 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 Mr. Spaceman, Mr. Tambourine Man, All I Really Want to Do, So I Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. So it's got the big hits that you would know from the radio, of course, and the B-sides, and some of those B-sides never appeared on record, so they're a little bit of a rarity. So really glad that I found this one. I've never seen it in the wild before, so glad I picked that up. My son asked me to be on the lookout for Manfred Mann records for some reason. I think he picked one up cheap, or picked one or two cheap. It's my son in France. So I picked him up, Manfred Mann's Earth Band Watch. I've got a few Manfred Mann records. I really enjoy them. And this one was released in 1978. Nice cover there. The big song on here is Quinn the Eskimo, the Mighty Quinn. When this is still in the period when they were doing Bob Dylan covers. I think later on in their career, they started doing Bruce Springsteen covers. And anyways, this is in great shape. It was $12. So I had a German copy, but this was a better copy than the German copy for some reason. So I grabbed that. And this I have this in my collection. This is Solar Fire, Manfred Mann from 1973. This might be the great gateway into Manfred Mann's Earth Band. This is really a proggy album, great synths on there, great, really, really, really well recorded, and yeah, fantastic record. I still listen to it to this day. So Manfred Mann's Earth Band, Solar Fire. So he should be happy with that one. Next up, Guilty Pleasure. Yeah, another Barry White record. Yep, it is called Is This What You Want? From 1976. Love Barry White. Pick up any of the records that I don't have. I'm trying to build up my Barry White collection. So I'm very, very happy to have this one. This is in good, very good condition. And it was $10. So nice cover, nice psychedelic cover there. A little while ago, I did a show. I pulled records that I haven't listened to in at least 30 years. And I have had a copy of Jules and the Polar Bears' first record since it's been released, so over 40 years. And I played it, and I hadn't played it in like 30 or 35 years, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I found a copy of their second album. It's called Phonetics, and it's Jules and the Polar Bears, 1979. Reviews are not as strong as the first record, but even if it's half as good as the first record, I'll be pleased with this one, I know. So Jules Shear, I think the fellow's name is. He's the main writer and contributes to vocals, etc., etc. So definitely new wave music coming out of the States. Really enjoyable stuff. Jules and the Polar Bears. Then we went to a new record store to me called Black Dog Records in Duncan, which is the closest to Victoria, and we hit that on the way back. And I went to the cheapies bin. The records in the normal bins are good. They seem to be priced higher than the condition of the records are, if that makes any sense to you. So like a $20 record, I look at it, instead of the $20 record, to me should be at least a VG plus. The records inside were almost not even VGs, so I had to put a lot of records back. But this is what I picked up in the $5 bins. Again, for my son in France, Boz Scaggs' Slow Dancer, with that infamous cover that Columbia decided to change about 3 or 4 years after it was released. He's got his, what do the Australians call those swimsuits? Budgie cages or something like that, budgie catchers. Anyways, this is a fantastic record, regardless of how Boz looks on the cover. Yeah, this is beginning just before 1974, so before his big hits Lido and so on and so on. I love this record. I've had a copy of this for a long, long time, so hopefully my son will enjoy it as well. Copy of Jimi Hendrix Rainbow Bridge. All these records were $5, so it's on reprise, of course. Soundtrack to the movie Rainbow Bridge. I've never seen the movie, but my Jimi Hendrix collection is pretty small. Yeah, I've got I've got all the studio records and maybe a few more, but happy to find this for $5, and it's in pretty good shape. A little bit some ring wear, but not bad. So Jimi Hendrix Rainbow Bridge, and a lot of Canadiana in here. My Canadiana collection in my collection is pretty small. So I decided to, I ran across these records and I decided to pick them up just because I needed to bolster it. How about April Wine? Released in, I'm just going to guess because the date isn't on here, but this is from I'm going to say 1976 or so. April Wine, The Whole World's Gone Crazy. This is Steve's, A is for Alice, B is for Bob's favorite April Wine record. He sent a poster of this cover to my good buddy Mike, who's another April Wine fan, and it's embossed, $5, and it happens to be in pretty good shape. A little bit beat on the bottom, but $5, you don't play the cover. So that's my first April. No, it's not my first April Wine record. I do have another April Wine record, but I'm not like some people, I'll go and mention, that have all the April Wine records. I think Mr. Twanger's Turntable, Mark, has got lots of April Wine records. Another April Wine record. A lot of these records had this little sticker on here. I guess that's how the fellow was filing his records. I don't know how you would do that, but this is April Wine, First Glance. Do I have a date? This is 1978. It's a gatefold. I am not a big singles guy, so, Love is a Vicious, Rock and Roll is a Vicious Game. I know that one. I don't know any others, but looking forward to giving this a spin. Another April Wine record, The Nature of the Beast, from 19... Again, they don't have a date on here for me. Oh, they do have a date, but it's in such small letters that you would need a magnifying glass to read that. The only song that I remember or recognize on this record is Just Between You and Me. And that song is a little bit but I know a lot of people love it. I'm not saying it's a bad song, but it's really not in my wheelhouse. But hopefully the rest of the record is a little more up-tempo than that. And we just lost Miles Goodwin, who sang that song, wrote that song just a little while ago. So rest in peace, Miles. Another Canadian band that I didn't have any records from, and that's a local band, at least a Vancouver band, called Prism. This is See Forever Eyes. Read a little bit about these guys. The lineup changes in this band are incredible. What can I say about this? I think Bruce Allen managed them. Bruce Allen's a big talent guy out here on the West Coast. Does Bryan Adams and Sarah McLachlan and a whole host of other other artists. So he's a big player in the Vancouver market and the world market. So Prism from 1978. Another Prism album for $5. I thought, why not? Small change. This is probably probably the original lineup, or maybe it's when a few people left. Again, I'm not a Prism expert, but so looking forward to listening to these guys. I don't know how to classify them even. I'm not recognizing any of these songs, but I know that Prism had a lot of hits on Canadian radio, so interesting to pick that up. Looking forward to giving it a listen. And I picked up another couple of records for my son. I'll get to that in a minute. Classic album, Slade Alive, $5. I wasn't going to leave this one behind. I know he doesn't have any Slade or Sancho in my collection. Yeah, this is a great record. I've got it in mind, so I'm going to be passing this on to my son. And lastly, first and lastly, Roberta Flack, First Take, her first record. And of course, I've got this. I picked it up for my son because I'm a nice guy. For $5, I think he should have this record in his collection. So speaking of my son in France, that's Sid, I am going away for 2 weeks. So I'm going to be taking off in a couple of days. Him and his wife have bought a income property, so they want to do a little bit of fixing up. So I am going to be the handyman again, which is fine. I love working with my boys. That's fine. They have a higher opinion of me than the work that I can actually do, but we'll figure that all out. And my oldest son is, this has been a big family couple of weeks for us because my oldest son is in town visiting. He is upstairs playing crib with my wife right now. So we've had a great week. He hasn't been feeling very well, but it's been great to spend some time with him. That's my oldest son who lives in Kingston. And, I go to his place every summer before I go to MGK and do a little bit of work on his house. Well, he's an electrician, so I put him to work for a couple hours here, fixing a couple of things for me, and he did a great job. It would have taken me 5-6 hours to do what he did in like an hour and 20 minutes. So grateful for that. I am, like I said, I'm going to be away for a while, but tomorrow I am going to be dropping a couple of contest entries. So I have a couple of shows in the can, and I will drop them when I'm there. I might be doing a video with my son Sid. I've done a few of those while I've been visiting France. They're always fun. So let's see what happens. Anyways, thanks for watching. Comments are always appreciated. And I will see you when I see you. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.